welcome back to Quinte Connection. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the warmer weather out finally right there. Well, coming up on the show, we have Peter Hall from the Ghana Project, former morning radio host, and now author Mark Philbin back on the program. But joining us, the director of the National Air Force Museum of Canada Foundation, so separate from the Trent Museum, is Steve joining us, who's the chair of their annual Golf Classic happening Friday, June 20th at Timber Ridge Golf Course in Brighton. So Steve, great to meet you. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Walk me through the foundation, difference between the foundation and the museum, Steve, because we briefly mentioned kind of how the funding goes with things.
Right, yeah. The museum itself is funded by charitable donations for 80% of its operating costs. They receive from the government 20%. The foundation itself is set up some years ago, but now it's a corporate entity, and its sole purpose is to raise money for the museum's operating expense. And we're in the process actually of starting a capital campaign, a national capital campaign. But this foundation tournament is the next big thing, I guess, in terms of moving forward with that.
Great. So with all the funds, Steve, I mean, what's the goal of the capital campaign from the foundation perspective?
Well, the goal is the capital campaign. It's a national capital campaign. We're just sent it out for tender right now, but basically, it's to provide enough money to expand the museum to include the Lancaster, which is presently situate at Base 31 in Picton. The museum lent the Lancaster to Base 31 for free for the next 3 or 4 years, and our purpose is in the capital campaign is to get the enough money to build the expansion, which would be about $12.5 million, and that's just before auxiliary operating expenses and so on and so forth. But actually build the building as it sits right now, get the Lancaster back home, would be $12.5 million. And in fact, if that happens and when it happens, the museum will be the only museum in Canada that will house a Halifax bomber and a Lancaster bomber fully restored.
Wow, yeah, many of us who've grown up in the Bay of Quinte region just are so privileged, the fact that we do have over 35 aircraft in our own backyard we could visit at any time. So remarkable the volunteers that go towards the museum too, and keeping everything up and going. Absolutely,
yeah, there's a lot of work involved, frankly.
So the Golf Classic happening on Friday, June 20th. When does registration cut off for this?
Well, technically, it should cut off around the 7th, but we're going to extend it to June 13th. That's where we've been advised by the golf course, which is Timber Ridge Golf Course. This is the first time we've held a tournament at Timber Ridge, by the way. It's normally held at the base course, but the base course is no longer because of the expansion of the base. They're removing that course. But we were lucky enough to obtain the Timber Ridge Golf Course for the same date, June 20th. And the course is in magnificent condition I guess largely because of the rain, but it's in terrific shape, and we're looking forward to a nice turnout this year. We're going to have about 20 right now, 20 foursomes, and we've got a series of sponsors as well, and so we're looking forward to a good event.
That's good. Yeah, so folks who want to get on the golf course, join you guys on Friday, June 20th. Walk me through kind of the schedule. Registration starts right at 11 a.m.?
About 11:30 actually, and then lunch at 11:30 and 1 o'clock. Shotguns start at 1 o'clock, and we'll be using all the holes, obviously, given the number of foursomes that we have. And then after the tournament is finished, we'll be handing out prize for the best team. And we'll have a long drive contest, putting contest, and a long drive for both the men and women, of course. And also, we are, after that's all done, we'll have dinner at the end, and then we'll have a raffle and a silent auction for a couple of items at the silent auction, 2 fine prints that we've received from a donation that we're going to auction off on a silent basis. The minimum price on that would be $750 because of the value of the prints, but they'll be subject to change depending on what kind of activity we get on the silent auction.
Well, it's great to promote another charitable golf tournament here on Quinte Connection with This Good. So, Steve, from a foundation perspective, how many members serve on the board of directors?
On the foundation, we have five directors on the board. And that's not to say, I don't know how many are on the museum board, but I would think there'd be about 7 or 8 or 10. Susan Scarborough is also the head of the museum. She's on the head of directors of the museums, and she also is on the golf committee as well. So she's assisting, and she's wearing several hats this year.
Lots of people it takes to put on an event like this. Have you noticed the interest has kind of ticked up about the museum? I know, coming from that fabulous air show last year we had in the summertime, have you noticed kind of interest about the museum picking up and the foundation specifically?
Well, we're constantly receiving letters from various entities that offering us donations and so on and so forth. But we can always use more money. It's a bit of a struggle, frankly, to get the necessary funds to maintain the museum. But it seems to be going well now. I haven't heard from the director lately, but I understand that the attendance is up a little bit this year. And we're hopeful that it'll continue. But the big thing will be getting the expansion for the museum, and that'll be the big catalyst. But that's going to be some years away before we get that money in place. Yeah,
that's been talked about a long time. Is there a general timeline as to when we could have that building finished? Is it 25 years down the road? Is it 30 maybe?
Well, the hope is to have it done within 5 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that would be the goal. But we'll have to wait and see how the fundraising goes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, thank goodness for Base 31 in the meantime. Once again, Steve, from the National Air Force Museum of Canada Foundation, the director of this and the chair of the golf tournament, wishing you and the team all the best on Friday, June 20th, and hopefully you get a nice sunny day again.
Thank you very much, Lindsey. I appreciate your time.